Today, we're going to tackle a truth that many of us struggle with, a reality that often leaves us feeling vulnerable and afraid. But I'm here to tell you that this very thing that scares you is also the key to your freedom, your power, and your purpose. Let them go and learn to be happy alone. These words might strike fear into your heart. They might make you want to cling tighter to those around you. But I'm here to challenge you, to push you beyond your comfort zone, and to show you that true happiness, true fulfillment comes not from others, but from within. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment that you're a tree. Yes, a tree. Picture your roots deep in the soil, your trunk standing tall, your branches reaching for the sky. What makes that tree strong? Is it the other trees around it? Is it the birds that nest in its branches? The squirrels that climb its bark? No. It's the depth of its roots, the strength of its core, the resilience it has built over years of standing alone against the wind and the rain. You, my friend, are that tree. Your happiness, your strength, your very essence, and doesn't come from others. It comes from within you. But so many of us have forgotten this fundamental truth. We've become so entangled with others that we can't distinguish where we end and they begin. We've become dependent, reliant, afraid to stand alone. But here's the liberating truth. You were born alone and you will leave this world alone. Everything in between. That's your journey to embrace your inherent completeness. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but relationships are important. We're social creatures. And you're absolutely right. Relationships are beautiful. They're enriching. They're a part of the human experience. And this is crucial, they should be the cherry on top of your already complete sundae, not the bowl holding you together. When you learn to be happy alone, you transform every relationship in your life. You're no longer coming from a place of need, of desperation, of please complete me. Instead, you're coming from a place of abundance, of I am complete and I choose to share my completeness with you. Think about the people in your life, your partner, your friends, your family. Are you clinging to them out of fear? Are you smothering them with your need for validation, for purpose, for happiness? It's time to let them go, not to abandon them, but to free them from the burden of being your everything. Let them go from the responsibility of making you happy. Let them go from the expectation that they will fulfill all your needs. Let them go from the pressure of being your entire world. Because when you do, when you release them from these impossible expectations, you give them the freedom to be who they truly are. And in doing so, you give yourself the same gift. This journey of learning to be happy alone isn't about isolation. It's not about cutting yourself off from the world. It's about finding your center, your core, your unshakable foundation. It's about building a relationship with yourself that is so strong, so nurturing, so complete that everything else becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but I've always been part of a couple. I don't know who I am without my friends. My family has always defined me. I hear you. I understand. But let me ask you, if all of that was stripped away tomorrow, who would you be? If you found yourself truly alone, would you still know your worth? Would you still find joy in your existence? These are the questions we need to grapple with. The truth is, many of us have never truly been alone. We've gone from our family of origin to friendships to romantic relationships, always having someone else there to reflect us back to ourselves. But that reflection is often distorted, filtered through the lens of others' expectations, needs, and perceptions. To see yourself clearly, sometimes you need to step away from the mirrors others hold up and look within. Learning to be happy alone is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a daily practice of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and self-love. It's about building a relationship with yourself that is as nurturing, as exciting, as fulfilling as any external relationship could be. Start small. Spend time alone without distractions. No phone, no TV, no books, just you and your thoughts. At first, it might be uncomfortable. You might feel the urge to reach out to distract yourself. Resist it. Sit with yourself. Get to know the person you are when no one else is around. Ask yourself the big questions. What do I value? What brings me joy? What are my dreams, my fears, my quirks? What makes me unique? Explore your own mind like it's uncharted territory, because for many of us it is. Practice self-care, not as an indulgence, but as a necessity. Treat yourself with the same kindness, the same consideration you would show a loved one. Would you speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself? Would you neglect a child the way you sometimes neglect your own needs? Start parenting yourself, friending yourself, loving yourself. Cultivate your passions. What lights you up from the inside? What makes you lose track of time? Whether it's art, music, writing, sports, cooking, whatever it is, dive deep into it. Not for recognition, not to impress others, but for the sheer joy of it. When you're engrossed in something you love, you'll find that you're never truly alone. You're in communion with your passion, with your creativity, with the best part of yourself. Face your fears. So often we cling to others because we're afraid of what we'll find if we're alone with ourselves. Are you afraid of silence, of stillness, of the thoughts that might surface when there's no one else to distract you? These fears are signposts pointing to the areas where you need to grow, to heal, to explore. Redefine your idea of happiness. So often we think of happiness as something that happens to us, something external. We're happy when we get the promotion, when we're in a relationship, when we achieve a goal. But true, lasting happiness isn't dependent on external circumstances. It's a skill, a practice, a choice we make moment by moment. When you learn to generate your own happiness, you become unstoppable. No longer are you at the mercy of others' actions or life circumstances. You carry your joy with you, an unquenchable inner light that no external darkness can dim. Now, let's talk about the fear that often comes with the idea of being alone. Many of us equate being alone with being lonely, but these are two very different things. Loneliness is a state of mind, a feeling of disconnection. You can be lonely in a crowded room, in a relationship, surrounded by friends and family. Being alone, on the other hand, is simply a physical state. And when you learn to be happy alone, you can be by yourself without ever feeling low. This fear of being alone often stems from a deeper fear, the fear of not being enough. We've been conditioned to believe that we need someone else to complete us, to validate us, to give our lives meaning. But this belief is not only false, it's harmful. It leads us to settle for less than we deserve, to compromise our values, to lose ourselves in others. When you learn to be happy alone, you break free from this harmful belief. You realize that you are enough just as you are. You don't need anyone else to complete you because you were never incomplete. You are whole. You are worthy. You are deserving of love and respect. This realization is incredibly liberating. Suddenly, relationships become a choice rather than a necessity. You're no longer desperately seeking someone to fill a void within you. Instead, you're choosing to share your completeness with others who are also complete in themselves. This is the foundation for healthy, balanced, mutually fulfilling relationships. But to get to this point, you need to be willing to let go. Let go of the relationships that no longer serve you. Let go of the need for constant validation from others. Let go of the belief that you need someone else to make you happy. This letting go can be painful. It can feel like you're losing a part of yourself. But remember, you're not losing anything real. You're simply releasing the illusions that have been holding you back. As you let go, you create space. Space for growth, for self-discovery, for new experiences. Nature abhors a vacuum, and as you release what no longer serves you, you find that new opportunities, new relationships, new aspects of yourself will rush in to fill that space. This process of letting go and creating space is ongoing. It's not something you do once and then you're done. It's a continual practice of releasing, of creating space, of growing into that space, and then releasing again. This is the rhythm of personal growth, the dance of becoming. Now, I want to address something that might be coming up for some of you. You might be thinking, but I'm a parent. I have responsibilities. I can't just focus on myself. I hear you, and let me be clearing. This doesn't mean neglecting your responsibilities or the people who depend on you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you learn to be happy alone, when you fill your own cup first, you have so much more to give to others. You're no longer parenting from a place of emptiness, of need, of I'm sacrificing everything for my children. Instead, you're parenting from a place of fullness, of joy, of I have so much love to give. This shift is profound, not just for you, but for your children as well. Children are incredible observers. They learn more from what we do than what we say. When they see you prioritizing your own happiness, your own growth, your own self-care, you're teaching them a valuable lesson. You're showing them that it's not selfish to take care of yourself. You're demonstrating what it looks like to be a whole, complete person who chooses to share that wholeness with others. Moreover, when you learn to be happy alone, you free your children from the burden of being your everything. So many parents with the best intentions look to their children to fulfill their needs for purpose, for love, for meaning. But this is too heavy a burden for any child to bear. When you learn to meet these needs yourself, you allow your children the freedom to be themselves, to grow into their own unique individuals without the pressure of completing you. The same principle applies to all your relationships with your partner, your friends, your colleagues. When you're no longer coming from a place of need, of please fill my emptiness, your relationships transform. They become based on want rather than need, on choice rather than desperation. You're no longer clinging, you're sharing. You're no longer taking, you're giving. You're no longer desperate for approval. You're open to genuine connection. This shift in your relationships can be startling at first. As you become more self sufficient, as you learn to meet your own needs, you might find that some relationships fall away. This is natural and it's okay. Not everyone will be comfortable with your growth, with your newfound independence. Some people might have become accustomed to you needing them, and your self sufficiency might feel threatening to them. But here's the beautiful thing: as these relationships that no longer serve you fall away, you create space for new connections that align with who you're becoming. You'll attract people who are also on a journey of self discovery, who value independence, who understand that true love is about two whole people choosing to share their lives, not two half people desperately trying to become whole. Now, let's talk about the practicalities of learning to be happy alone. This isn't just a philosophical concept. It's a skill that you can develop, a muscle that you can strengthen. And like any skill, it takes practice. Start by scheduling regular alone time. This might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to always being surrounded by others. Start small, maybe 15 minutes a day of complete solitude. No phone, no TV, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. As you become more comfortable, gradually increase this time. During this alone time, practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, your bodily sensations. Don't judge them, just observe. This practice of non judgmental awareness is key to developing a loving relationship with yourself. Explore new hobbies and interests. What have you always wanted to try but never had the time or courage to do? Maybe it's painting or learning a new language or trying a new sport. When you engage in activities that you enjoy, you'll find that time spent alone becomes something to look forward to rather than something to dread. Travel alone. There's something incredibly empowering about navigating a new place by yourself. It challenges you, pushes you out of your comfort zone, and shows you just how capable you are. Start small. If the idea seems daunting, maybe a day trip to a nearby town before working up to longer solo adventures. Learn to enjoy your own company. Take yourself out on dates. Go to a movie alone. Have dinner at a nice restaurant by yourself. Visit a museum solo. At first, you might feel self-conscious, worried about what others might think. But as you practice, you'll find a sense of freedom in these solo adventures. Develop a self-care routine. This isn't just about bubble baths and face masks, although those can be lovely. True self-care is about meeting your own needs, physical, emotional, mental. It's about treating yourself with the same care and consideration you would show a loved one. Practice positive self-talk. The way you speak to yourself matters. So often, we're our own harshest critics. We say things to ourselves that we would never dream of saying to a friend. Start catching these negative thoughts and reframing them. Speak to yourself with kindness, with encouragement, with love. Set personal goals and work towards them. Having something to strive for gives you a sense of purpose that's independent of others, whether it's a fitness goal, a career aspiration, or a personal project. Working towards something that's important to you can be incredibly fulfilling. Learn to sit with uncomfortable emotions. So often, we seek out others or engage in distracting behaviors to avoid feeling lonely, sad, or anxious. But these emotions are part of the human experience. Learning to sit with them, to feel them fully without being overwhelmed by them, is a crucial skill in becoming emotionally self-sufficient. Practice gratitude. Each day, take time to appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering a sense of abundance and contentment. As you practice these skills, as you learn to be happy alone, you notice changes not just in your relationships with others, but in your relationship with yourself. You'll become more confident, more self-assured. You'll trust yourself more. You'll become more authentic, less concerned with pleasing others, and more focused on living in alignment with your values. you'll also become more resilient. When you know that you can generate your own happiness, that you can weather any storm, you become less afraid of life's challenges. You know that no matter what happens, you have your own back. This resilience, this inner strength is invaluable. It's what allows you to take risks, to pursue your dreams, to live life fully. Now, I want to address a concern that might be coming up for some of you. You might be thinking, but isn't this selfish? Shouldn't we be focusing on others, on making the world a better place? This is a valid question, and it speaks to the conditioning many of us have received that putting ourselves first is somehow wrong or selfish. But here's the truth: learning to be happy alone, focusing on your own growth and fulfillment, is one of the most selfless things you can do. Why? Because when you're truly happy, when you're operating from a place of fullness rather than lack, you have so much more to give to others and to the world. Think about it. When you're stressed, unhappy, running on empty, how much energy do you have to help others? How patient are you? How kind? But when you're fulfilled, when you're at peace with yourself, your capacity for compassion, for generosity, for making a positive impact expands exponentially. Moreover, by doing this inner work, by learning to be happy alone, you're contributing to the healing of the collective. So many of the world's problems stem from people who are unhappy, who are trying to fill an inner void with external things, whether that's relationships, material possessions, power, or control over others. By healing yourself, by becoming whole, you're doing your part to heal the world. This journey of learning to be happy alone is not an easy one. It requires courage. It requires a willingness to face your fears, to confront the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. It requires patience and persistence. There will be times when you'll want to give up, when the pull of old patterns and behaviors will feel overwhelmed. But I promise you, it's worth it. The freedom you'll find, the peace you'll discover, the love you'll cultivate for yourself. These are priceless. They're the foundation upon which you can build a truly fulfilling life. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Even as you're learning to be happy alone, you're part of a larger community of individuals who are doing this important inner work. Draw strength from this knowledge. Allow it to inspire you on the days when the path feels challenging. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. Learning to be happy alone is not about closing yourself off from others or from love. It's about opening yourself up to the greatest love affair of all, the one you have with yourself. It's about becoming so complete in yourself that you know absolutely, let's continue this empowering journey. Need anything or anyone else to feel whole. From this place of wholeness, you can then choose to share your life with others, not out of need, but out of a genuine desire to connect and grow together. Think about the implications of this shift. When you no longer need others to complete you, to make you happy, to give your life meaning, you free them from an impossible burden. You allow them to be themselves without the pressure of having to fulfill your needs. This is true love, allowing others the freedom to be who they are, not who we need them to be. Now, I want you to imagine a world where everyone has done this inner work, a world where people come together not out of need or fear, but out of a genuine desire to share their completeness. Imagine the relationships we could build, the communities we could create, the world we could shape. This is not just a personal journey. It's a revolution of consciousness. But like all revolutions, it starts with the individual. It starts with you right here, right now, making the courageous choice to let go of what no longer serves you and to embrace the journey of self-discovery. As you embark on this journey, remember that it's not about reaching a destination. There's no finish line where you suddenly become happy alone and your work is done. This is a lifelong practice, a continual unfolding of your truth. There will be setbacks along the way. There will be days when you feel lonely, when you doubt yourself, when you're tempted to fall back into old patterns. These moments are not failures, they're opportunities. They're invitations to go deeper, to peel back another layer, to grow even more. In these moments of challenge, I want you to remember your own strength. Remember that you've survived every difficult day you've ever had. You've overcome every obstacle that's been placed in your path. You are resilient, you are powerful, and you have everything you need within you to face whatever comes your way. Now, let's talk about the transformative power of solitude. In our hyper-connected world, we often equate being alone with being lonely, but solitude, when embraced, can be a powerful catalyst for growth and self-discovery. In solitude, you have the space to hear your own thoughts, to connect with your inner wisdom. It's in these quiet moments that inspiration often strikes, that solutions to problems become clear, that you gain insights into your true desires and motivations. Solitude allows you to recharge, to process your experiences, to integrate the lessons you've learned. It's like pressing the reset button on your mind and spirit. In our busy lives, we rarely give ourselves this gift. We're constantly consuming information, interacting with others, moving from one task to the next. But without periods of solitude, we risk losing touch with ourselves. So I challenge you to make solitude a regular part of your life. Start small if you need to. Maybe it's just 5 minutes of quiet reflection each morning. Gradually increase this time as you become more comfortable with being alone with your thoughts. Use this time for self-reflection. Ask yourself deep, probing questions. What do I truly want in life? What are my core values? Am I living in alignment with these values? What fears are holding me back? What limiting beliefs do I need to let go of? As you engage in this self-reflection, you may uncover aspects of yourself that you've been avoiding or denying. This can be uncomfortable, even painful at times. But remember, growth often requires discomfort. It's in facing these hidden parts of ourselves that we become whole. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, fear. For many of us, the idea of being alone, of letting go of our attachments, is terrifying. We fear loneliness. We fear missing out. We fear that without others, we'll somehow cease to exist. But here's the truth. These fears are illusions. They're stories we've told ourselves, stories that have been reinforced by society, by our upbringing, by the media we consume. But they're not reality. The reality is that you are complete just as you are. You don't need anyone or anything outside of yourself to be whole. Your existence, your worth, your value, none of these depend on others. They are inherent in you, unchangeable, unshakable. When you truly internalize this truth, fear loses its power over you. You no longer fear being alone because you know that you are never truly alone. You always have yourself. You no longer fear rejection because your self-worth doesn't depend on others' approval. You no longer fear missing out because you know that everything you need is already within you. This doesn't mean you won't feel fear. Fear is a natural human emotion, and it often shows up when we're stepping out of our comfort zone, when we're growing and evolving. But you'll develop a new relationship with fear. Instead of being paralyzed by it, you'll see it as a signpost pointing towards areas where you need to grow. As you learn to be happy alone, you'll also develop a newfound appreciation for the relationships in your life. When you no longer need others to complete you, you're free to appreciate them for who they truly are, not for what they can do for you. Your relationships will become more authentic, more genuine. You'll no longer tolerate relationships that don't align with your values or that drain your energy. Instead, you cultivate connections with people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, who respect your independence even as they enjoy your company. You also become a better friend, partner, family member. Because you're no longer coming from a place of need, you're able to give more freely. You're able to listen more deeply, to empathize more fully, to love more unconditionally. This journey of learning to be happy alone is not just about you. As you transform, you become a beacon of possibility for others. Your joy, your peace, your self-assurance will be contagious. People will be drawn to your energy, curious about your secret. And here's the beautiful thing, there's no secret. It's simply the natural result of doing the inner work, of choosing to love yourself, of embracing your completeness. And as others witness your transformation, they'll be inspired to embark on their own journey of self-discovery. Imagine the ripple effect this could have. As more and more people learn to be happy alone, to love themselves fully, to let go of their need for external validation, we could create a profound shift in our collective consciousness. We could move from a society based on lack and competition to one based on abundance and cooperation. We could shift from relationships built on need and dependency to ones built on mutual respect and genuine connection. We could transform our world from the inside out. But it all starts with you. It starts with your decision in this moment to embrace the journey of self-discovery, to let go of what no longer serves you, to face your fears, to love yourself unconditionally. It won't always be easy. There will be days when you question yourself, when you're tempted to fall back into old patterns. But I want you to remember this. You are stronger than you know. You are more capable than you realize. You have within you everything you need to create a life of joy, of purpose, of fulfillment. So I challenge you right here, right now, to make a commitment to yourself, a commitment to prioritize your own growth and happiness, a commitment to let go of the relationships and behaviors that no longer serve you, a commitment to face your fears and embrace your true self. Remember, this is not a selfish act. By choosing to be happy alone, by filling your own cup first, you're actually giving the greatest gift to those around you. You're showing them what's possible. You're inspiring them to do their own inner work. You're creating space for more authentic, more fulfilling relationships. As we come to the close of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. You are a miracle. The odds of you existing exactly as you are infinitesimally small. Yet here you are. You are unique, you are precious, you are complete. Your task now is to fully embrace this miracle that you are, to let go of the need for others to validate your worth, to release the belief that you need someone or something outside of yourself to be happy, to step into your power and create the life you truly desire. The journey of learning to be happy alone is the journey of becoming who you truly are. It's the journey of peeling away the layers of conditioning, of false beliefs, of societal expectations to reveal the radiant, powerful, complete being that you've always been. So go forth with courage, embrace your solitude, face your fears, love yourself fiercely, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Even as you learn to be happy by yourself, you are part of a growing community of individuals who are doing this important inner work. Draw strength from this knowledge. Allow it to inspire you on the days when the path feels challenging. You are enough. You are complete. You are worthy of love and respect simply because you exist. Now go out there and live this truth. The world is waiting for the gift that only you can give, the gift of your authentic, empowered, joyful self. Thank you for embarking on this journey of self-discovery with me. May you find the courage to let go, the strength to stand alone, and the joy that comes from truly loving yourself. The path ahead is filled with infinite possibilities. Embrace them. You are ready. You are worthy. You are enough.